Well, if you're a smoker, I don't have to tell you, quitting smoking is not easy, but you can do it. To have the best chance of quitting and staying to quit, you need to know what you're up against, what your options are, where to go for help. Pam Trombero from the American Cancer Society is here to share some first-hand advice on kicking the habit in 2014. And welcome, Pam. Thanks for joining us. And I got to say, you not only talk the talk, you walk the walk. You've been there, former smoker and cancer survivor?
That's correct.
Tell us about that.
Well, I was diagnosed with small cell lung cancer in March of 2006. Small cell lung cancer is directly associated with cigarette smoking. And we think it's not going to happen to us, but in reality it did happen to me. So I was diagnosed on a routine chest x-ray when they found a lung mass, and then it all spiraled down from there, and I came out on top.
Well, you know, it's great. Congratulations, because we hear of the folks who aren't as lucky as you and say, I want to quit each year. How hard was it for you?
Well, it was really hard to quit because it's the mental and the physical part of it that you have to really get control of. I was diagnosed with lung cancer, so it was a little bit easier for me. And I thought if I quit, maybe I'd have a chance, and thank God I did. So, but the hardest cigarette for me to give up was the one after every meal. And if you speak to a survivor and people who have quit smoking already, that's exactly the cigarette. You'll learn that they had the hardest time giving up.
And so what advice then? That's a good point
So
to
the
make.
really good advice is I found cinnamon-flavored toothpicks. And when you put a cinnamon-flavored toothpick in your mouth, whether you're a smoker or a non-smoker, you get a burst of cinnamon, and it would remind you of the kind of burst you would get from a cigarette after you have a meal. So the cinnamon toothpicks took me through the quitting phase. And then just changing the way I, like after a meal, I would get up and start walking. I changed the way I thought in terms of not smoking and being a non-smoker, and I was very proud of that.
And so it's a lot of behavior modification, just like, okay, I'm going to quit smoking. You said physical, mental, psychological.
Right.
Some folks might say, you know, I've been smoking for 30 years. I'm not going to see the benefits. I'm going to die. I'm going to be diagnosed with cancer. I'm not going to beat this thing. How soon after can you see benefits?
When you wake up the next morning, if you haven't smoked for 24 hours and you wake up the next morning, you feel on top of the world. You're full of energy, your breathing already feels better, you can smell better, you can taste better. It's a 160-degree turnaround. It feels wonderful.
What kind of things are out there now that are actually new in helping people to quit smoking?
So something that really isn't new are patches and lozenges and gum. They have the e-cigarettes. I don't know if I would recommend that or not. It works for some people. And there's programs through cancer.org and tools that people can go online and look for help and assistance. There's a lot of help out there.
And then we see with some of these tips, it's you want your family to get involved. You mentioned about having, like, you know, little snacks, carrots, candy, and just set up a support system, because you really need help on this. Isn't something you just can do by yourself. You need a whole support system around you.
You need a whole support system, and you need to think like a non-smoker.
Okay, that's the best advice you can give. So 2014, let's hope you've inspired some folks today in our audience.
I certainly hope so, because it's truly the gift of life.
Thank you so much for coming by.